everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, very shortly, I'm going to be joined by my co-guest, well, my co-host, Tunde Tash, and we're going to be discussing what it's like running a business in Canada as an immigrant. So, if you're starting a business or you're looking to start one, you're going to enjoy this conversation. You're going to get a lot of knowledge from it. So, very shortly, Tunde is going to be joining us here.
Oh,
Hi.
amazing. Hey,
Hi.
Tunde, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good, good, good. Thank you so much for
Great.
joining. Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining.
for having me. Thank you for having me. Really good to be here. Really
Perfect.
great to be here.
Same. So I know you have an intro for us today, so I'll let you take the floor and then I will continue.
Okay. Yeah. So I want us to be, I know we're going to make it very casual as possible. We don't want to make
Yep.
it very professional so that our folks out there can really go with us and work with us on
Hmm.
this journey. So basically, we'll be talking about, empowering Africans in the diaspora with access to seamless personal and, business banking, and also talking about how you can really thrive having your own business in
Hmm.
Canada as an immigrant. So, first, my name is Tunde, and I currently work at the bank. I'm a senior business operations analyst, and I run a startup by the side called HumanSquad, which launched last year. I like to share a lot of practical information on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, so that's me. Not a lot, not so much about me. I'm quite a boring person. And
Wow.
I'll have I'll have Born introduce herself.
Yes, hi everyone who's tuning in. Let us know where you're joining from. So if you're joining from Nigeria, if you're joining from Canada, wherever you're joining from, drop that in the comments. My name is Yvonne Ben. Same as today, I also have a full-time job. Wow, like I actually didn't think you had a full-time job. It's amazing to actually find that out now. That's amazing. So I do have a full-time job, and I also I'm the founder of the KScope. The KScope is a
Yeah.
platform, it's an online platform where you get to experience Africa locally and you get to connect with African businesses. We also recently introduced a digital product that's helping African businesses thrive in the marketplace. That's pretty much who I am, and I love wearing African prints. I'm always anywhere you see me, you would know I am here.
Nice,
So, oh,
nice.
we see lots of comments. People are joining from Nigeria, from Canada. Thank you and welcome. I'm very excited for this conversation. That's my intro.
Okay, thank you so much, Vaughn. Really nice to have this with you. So, as Vaughn mentioned, she's the founder of KScope. KScope is doing an amazing job, showcasing the African in the diaspora, and it's really lovely what she does. The aura for her
Mhm.
is really, really different, so which is great.
Thanks.
So, before we really dive into it, just use this moment to really shout out to Lemonade. So, a lot of you already know Lemonade Finance app. It's the great app that is really doing, that seamless transfer for us from Nigeria to Canada or
Mhm.
Nigeria to Kenya, and also the reverse. So we haven't had an app that does reverse. We've always had to rely on third party Boru, the
Mhm.
change guys, but
Right.
Lemonade is changing the game where we can actually do it ourselves, by
Mhm.
transferring money from my bank account in Nigeria to an account in Canada. Back in the days when we had to pay tuition or we needed to get money from Nigeria, it was hard, right? You would have
Mhm.
parents go in the bank, wait for long, and all this
That's
kind of
true.
stuff. But now it's no more. Like there's no more third party. You can actually do it by yourself on your phone. And shout out to Lemonade for building the bank for the diaspora, which is
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yes. So,
Mhm.
Vaughn, you want to kick off so that we
Yes,
can dive in?
yes. So I'm very excited for this conversation, honestly. Today I was telling a bunch of my friends, listen, I'm
Yeah.
coming here to learn, okay?
Okay.
From you, and I'm sure a lot of us that are joining as well are also looking to learn. So let us know in the comments, do you have a business? What stage are you at right now? Do you have a business? Are you starting a business? Are you even thinking of starting a business? Are you even, sometimes because when you have a really great paying job, the idea doesn't really come about, right? So some
Yeah.
people are at that stage where they're like, oh, you know what? I actually have a hobby and I want to turn into a business, or I'm even thinking because I want more streams of income, right?
Mhm.
So let us know in the comments what stage are you at in your, I would say, business stage in your business search? Are you actually thinking of starting one? And we're going to start off with like the I would say the initial stage, which a lot of people miss, which I did. So I'm very happy that I did not take the regular route of starting and running a business, so I can share all my challenges and how I was able to overcome them. So I would say we're starting off with research. That word a lot of
Yeah.
people do not want to hear, right? Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, what really makes a business, what actually makes a business viable is the fact that the product itself is needed. Why would you create something?
Yeah.
Look at lemonade. They came and they filled a huge gap, right? So we're here to learn. We're here to learn from those people who have gone before us and they've made this really great, I guess, wheel. And I know research is at the top. So let's start with research. So did you go with that route? Did you
Yes.
research first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So research is always around market validation, right? You're really trying to understand, is there a market for this? How much
Mm-hmm.
are people willing to pay for this? What
Mm-hmm.
what is the pain points you're trying to solve here? Who are the people who really need it, right?
Right.
And for me, I try to be as detailed as possible. You might not get
Mm-hmm.
much information where you are getting data from like over 200, 2,000 people, right? But you're getting
Okay.
data from about 50 people, and you're sure that data applies to a whole lot of other demographic, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so research is very important. I would say it will really help, primarily as to, do people really need this? Because for you, and I was talking about this the other day, where a lot of people are saying, oh, there are millions of Nigerians moving to Canada, Nigerians are trooping to Canada, right? Like, no,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there are not millions of Nigerians in Canada. We're not up to 100,000 yet, right? And you will find where people will
Mm.
say, oh, I need to start this business here because there are now a lot of people in Canada. And you would
Right.
think, oh, I can target 1 million people. But no, your target
Mm-hmm.
market might just
Mm-hmm.
be 100,000 people, because that's the number of people in Canada who
Mm-hmm.
are Nigerians,
Yeah.
right? But knowing that research, doing that research
Right.
and knowing that data would actually help your business, right? And that's where the research comes in, like you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned as well, right?
Right, right. That's actually amazing. I like that you talked about that. So I'll share my experience a little bit of when it came to research.
Okay.
When I started my business, started out as a blog where I would showcase my African prints, and it was actually the fact that people were actually recommending that I turned it into a business that it became a business. So I didn't
Okay.
really see the value, and I just saw it as, oh, this is something I love doing, and I'm going to
Mm.
keep doing it. And someone said, hey, I'll pay you to actually have my business on your page, and I was like, I'm sorry, you're paying
Okay.
me. That's all I heard. I just heard
Wow.
I just heard money, and I was like, okay, of course. But now that the business itself has actually grown, and we've optimized it, we've seen different opportunities, we actually had to incorporate research, right? So we're going to be
Nice.
talking to two different people. Myself, the kind of person like me who instead of baking bread, used to give it to that one friend. That one friend ended up giving it to another friend. Friend said, please let me buy this bread. Now you said, okay, let me start a business, right? Let's talk to that person who has had a hobby and they're thinking of turning into a business. And let's talk about those who are actually just at that stage of, oh, you know what? I'm seeing the market right now. I'm seeing that there's something missing. And I see that, I can actually fill this gap, right? So let's go back again and research. Research for someone who has already, said, let me start selling. What does
Mhm.
that look like? Let's take the person who, bakes bread, for instance. Now I want bread. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Okay. Let's take the person who bakes bread, for instance. They started, selling to small groups of people. How can they incorporate research at that stage?
I would say what you need to also do is look at competitors, right? Somebody who wants to start selling bread is, okay, what are the breads out there? What kind of
Okay.
products are out there already, right? You want to start from there,
Okay.
right? Is this what I want to
Right.
do? Right,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, I know when I first came to Canada, I used to see this Italian loaf, and I think it's still out there in the market, and it's probably somewhere. I used to see it in kitchen. I don't see it anymore, but there have been different types of bread that have come into the market. But first, I want to know what are the products out there, right? And from there, I can start
Mm.
to think to myself, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to do this same product, or I'm trying to do something different,
Right.
right? It might be that it's the
Okay.
same content. So maybe it's the same content that this bread has, but in another
Mm-hmm.
shape, right, in another shape.
Right.
In
Okay.
another shape
Okay.
that people might want. It might be the size. It might
Mm-hmm.
be okay. Maybe we are trying to target a market where they need just smaller sizes rather than the bigger size. And talking about bread, we have Great Matlock who started, in
Yes.
Brampton there, and they're doing a
Mm-hmm.
very
Mm-hmm.
amazing job, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know how they started their research, but something is different. They started from where there are a
Right.
lot of Nigerians, right? They started from where you
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of Nigerians, which is Brampton, right? So it's very
Right.
possible they did that research before they actually started
Mm-hmm.
in Brampton, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
another way that one can do that. I think primarily
Right.
for small business owners is really understanding where your market is. Where are the people that are trying to buy this, and how much are people willing to pay
Mm-hmm.
for? When you understand these
Mm-hmm.
two
And
particular stuff, right, you can then
right.
begin to
Mm-hmm.
address it and say, okay, this is how I'm going to go about it.
Right. That's amazing. You mentioned two things just now, and I caught the last thing. What was the first one?
So first is understanding, where are the people who want to buy and how much are they willing to pay
Right.
for it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. And what I love about that is I love being practical. So let's say now you've said, oh, that's theory. So if I were to put it into practice, which it was something that I did, I would say for understanding the market, I would say start asking questions, right? So
Yeah,
asking questions, using different outlets to ask questions.
yeah.
It could be a small group, right? You can actually just a bunch of people you probably sold to in the past or people you've never sold to. Just
Mm-hmm.
ask questions. Put down a list of questions that's practical, and then finding out how much they're willing to pay for it, right? You know how some
Yeah.
people like they haven't really seen what price is in the market and they're undervaluing themselves, right? So if you're just joining us, we are talking about what it's like running a business in Canada as an immigrant, and
Mm-hmm.
we just shared a bunch of case studies of people who are thriving in the marketplace, and you can too. So we already asked a bunch of questions, and I think I saw some people said they're looking for business ideas. Okay, well, if you're looking for business ideas, that's good. Do some research or even look for a problem to solve. I think you can start there. But right
Yeah.
now, we're just discussing research, and Tunde had mentioned just understanding the market that you're in, and that involves asking questions, running surveys, and don't overthink it, right? I had this business coach who she just reminded me like, hey, Yvonne, research is needed, right? Just because everyone loves it doesn't mean that there's not like a bigger market out there for you to serve, right? You need to do research. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that. So
No
what next
problem.
should we talk about?
I think really is about what should you do next, right? When after you've done your research, you know the market, you know
Okay.
where they are, you know how much people are
Mm-hmm.
willing to pay for that, either service or
Mm-hmm.
product. Next question will be what should you do
Right.
next, right? And I've
Right.
also
Mm-hmm.
found for immigrants and people of African background, when we come to places like this, people just start off, they just start selling, right? Like,
Right.
they just
Right.
create the
Right.
product and just start selling. Is there a business plan? Has there been a plan? What strategy are you going
Mm,
to use?
mm,
Right. So having that
right.
business plan has a lot of like a lot of parts, which will eventually,
Mm-hmm.
as an umbrella, really help your business. Right. Knowing how
Mm-hmm.
much am I going
Mm-hmm.
to need for
Mm-hmm.
marketing? What are the teams that I even need
Mm-hmm.
within my business? Am I starting
Right.
off alone? Do I need, for instance, maybe is a technical startup that needs some form of automation? Do I need a tech person? Right. So by the
Mm-hmm.
time you have that business plan, it will also help you. So I think that's like the next stage, really having that
Mm-hmm.
documentation of some sort, right? It will really,
Mm-hmm.
take things to the next level. So
Yeah, would
you're
really,
not just
really help.
you just don't research and they just say, oh, okay, this is where these folks are and this is how much I'm going to pay, and then just
Right.
go buy your product and just start selling, right? No.
And just start selling.
Yeah,
Right, right.
exactly.
I really
Exactly.
love that feedback. And I just saw someone say, please save this live. And I agree with her because I'm coming back here. You shared a lot of information right now that I really need to grab. But I want to make sure that the our audience is listening. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually give away something at the end of this live, right, Cindy?
Yes, yes, we have a
Yeah,
giveaway at the end of
right.
the live.
Perfect.
So
We do
if
have a
yeah,
giveaway.
patient enough to stay till the end, you get something.
Yes. Perfect, amazing. So the giveaway that I will be sharing would be a free consultation session with myself for your business, and I would also share people in the community, different solutions that you can actually start off with to help your business thrive. That's what I'll be giving away. So if you're tuning, if you're staying till the end, you are one person is going to win that, and another person is going to win another consultation, I believe, from Tunde. Tunde, go ahead and tell us what you're going to be giving away.
Yes. So they're going to win a free consultation from myself as well, personally, not with one of our consultants. It's going to be with me, really just talk about their career,
Ooh,
with,
okay.
their career and all that. Yes. Okay. So I think we've talked about business planning and
Mm-hmm.
so next will be really once you have all that fleshed out, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to now say, okay, what am I naming my business, right? So for you,
Yeah.
how did your name come about, right? How did the name KScope come
See,
about?
like, if I start that story today, Laminate will kick me out. But I'll give you the short one.
Okay.
Um, and actually, before we continue, if you actually heard the details of the giveaway and you're gonna be staying till the end, raise your hands in the comments. Let us see, so that we can
Yeah.
we can know, we can gauge and see who is
Yeah.
ready for this giveaway. And okay, so about the name of the name Kscope. When we first started, it was called Kaleidoscope, and actually it was longer
It was
than
called
that.
what? Sorry, I
If
didn't
you
get
look
that.
in,
It was called
oh,
what?
sorry, can you hear me? Is this
Yes.
better? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. So it was called the Kaleidoscope. The
Okay. Okay.
kaleidoscope, when you look into it, you see lots of colors and different patterns.
Hmm.
Exactly. And then I decided to call myself the kaleidoscopian. And everybody was so upset. They were like, Madame, don't you want us to, don't you want us to push your business? What are you doing? So after a lot of people almost biting their tongue, somebody almost sued because they're like, it took a while for them to pronounce the word. Jokingly, I'm just joking. But we did another thing. We did another research. We ran a survey, and we said, hey, we want to shorten our name, right? We're seeing people are struggling, right? It's a lot of syllables. What would you recommend? And we had a bunch of different options, and we had someone choose. We had a bunch of people choose the K scope, and I was like, okay, well, that's where we're at. It's such a unique
It
name. That's
it
that's
is.
how we came about.
It is. It is. It's actually great. Yeah, for us, it was simply like sitting down and understanding what, because we've done the research, we know what services, what products we
Hmm.
wanted to build and what market we're trying to target, right? And it was
Hmm.
mainly trying to bring the human touch into what we were trying to do. And it
Mm.
was a squad, like, because the word squad kept coming up, the squad of people,
Mm.
the consultants are like a squad, the HR professionals are like a squad. I'm like, okay, and we're trying to bring some
Right.
form of touch
Right.
into it. Like, okay, how about human squad, right? And it just clicked, right?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I think it's also important when you're creating your name, because as as much as it's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
name that you're going to be attached to, you also want it to you also want people to remember that name, right? You want it to be easier for
Yes,
people to
yes.
recall, to remember, so they don't like start thinking, oh, what is this name? So I was talking to somebody today, and he
Right.
was presenting an idea to me, and from the start, that name that he started with, I'm like, oh no, 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 that name is great, right? It's catchy, and it's the same thing with
Oh,
lemonade, right?
nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's the same thing with lemonade, right? Like, you will
Mm-hmm.
always remember, lemonade, right? It's
Yeah,
it's a very
that's true.
catchy name. So yeah, so your business name is something you also want to take time. You don't have to rush it, right? You don't have to rush it.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Mm-hmm.
the whole time to really kind of sit down, think about it. What do you align with, and
Right.
check with people. Look at yourself, right? You spoke with people. People gave you
Yes.
feedback. Yeah, don't go with this. This
Mm-hmm.
goes. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Exactly. Wow, that's actually really good. Like I love that. So if you're just joining us, we are hosting a giveaway, and at the end we're gonna announce the winners. All you need to do is you're gonna pay attention because we're gonna be asking some questions. So we're gonna ask the first question now. What were the first two things that we mentioned? The first two steps that we mentioned you need to incorporate when you are starting or thinking of starting a business? Go ahead and drop some comments. We're going to see if you were listening, if you get
or
the
not,
first two, the first
or
listening. Sorry?
if you were listening or not.
Or
If you were
not.
listening or
Exactly,
not. Yes.
exactly. So drop a comment. Let us know the first two things that we mentioned when you start your business. What are those things that you should incorporate? And I will, while oh, okay, we've seen one answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people are listening. Some people are listening. We're
Yeah.
keeping track. We also have a friend in the comments too, keeping track for us. So if you have it in the straight line. So the first two, not the first three. The first two, because I'm seeing business, I'm seeing naming the first two. All right, perfect. Everyone is paying attention. That's amazing. Thank you for tuning in. The next thing I believe is I would say roles. So yourself, right? Like who's gonna be starting this business? Are you gonna be doing the business alone, right? Like do you wanna bring on someone? When I started, it was just me, right? It was just me doing it because it was very easy. I was using a blog. So at that point I had a name and it was still a blog back then. I didn't actually turn it into a business until recently. And even after I did, it was still just me, right? So what would you say when it comes to getting people to come on board? So now, okay, I'm gonna share the answer, but after you complete the first, three steps when it comes to, roles, right? What would you say to take into consideration when you're picking either a partner, or should you even think of getting a partner in the beginning stage? What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's no limitations to when or constriction to when you can get a partner. It's really dependent on the business, right? For instance, somebody who's trying to build a tech platform but cannot code will definitely need a CTO, right? You cannot avoid
Okay.
it, right? Exactly. So it would depend on that product, right? And
Mm-hmm.
however, what you need to consider when bringing a partner is this somebody you've known for long? Is it somebody you can work
Mm-hmm.
with? Because a
Mm-hmm.
partnership is like a marriage, right? It's long term,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's long term. Everybody goes into it
Right.
thinking long term, and you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
start something that will make you feel miserable. That you think, oh, why did I start this business with this person, right? This person is
Right.
not. And knowing that both of you definitely have two different backgrounds. You're definitely
Right.
going to have
Right.
two different experiences, two different ideologies, right?
Mm-hmm.
While you're trying to sail the ship to this way, they're thinking a different direction, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it has to
Mm-hmm.
first be
Mm-hmm.
somebody you know very well, somebody you understand very well, somebody you
Yes.
can work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm thankful for the person who's like our CTO because
Mm-hmm.
it started from a friendship, right? It was somebody I knew from back in
Mm-hmm.
college in Canada when I first
Right.
landed, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
developed that friendship up to like brotherhood. And then going into
Mm-hmm.
business with that person is easy. I mean, it's kind of seamless,
Right.
right? Exactly.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would say consider those are things you need to consider. Is it somebody I can work
Mm-hmm.
with? How long have I
Mm-hmm.
known this person? What are the capabilities? It's because at this point you don't want to do favoritism, right? You want to make sure they know what they're
Mm.
doing, right? It's not about,
Exactly.
oh, I have one business idea, guys. Yeah, let us do it because you know each other. It doesn't work that way, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have to
Mm-hmm.
leave that aside because when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to
Mm-hmm.
business, you are really building a product for other people, not for you and your friends. It's for other
Right.
people, right?
Right.
And once you start to
Exactly.
bring all that into consideration, you understand that okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's not about oh
Mm-hmm.
my paddy. It's about sitting down and creating a real
Mm.
business that people will have to pay for, right? So those are the kind of things that I
Mm-hmm.
would look for,
Right.
in a partner. Yeah, yeah. If I need a partner, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. That's actually really good. I'm gonna share on myself, but I'm just gonna
Please.
our guests here, those of us again. Assist us watching from Canada, watching from the UAE, and trust me, I am gaining a lot right now. I know who to join the conversation. Yeah, so for me, when it comes to like, I guess, working with people, I ended up, it's so funny. I have no technical background, but I somehow, with my experience, using a blog, doing different things. Also, just sometimes watching YouTube, I was able to sort of do what's needed to be done. So our good friends at Charisol built our digital product right now. That's amazing because what we currently have is it's a shopping directory. It's very unique. It's different from what is out there. Our goal with that is to make it easy for you to find these businesses and also patronize them, right? We're seeing that directories already exist, but what makes us different is the opportunity to easily patronize a business when you find them on KScope. So our friends at Charisol Tech, really great group of like a media company. They're based in a tech company. They're based in Nigeria. They were able to build out the app, and I've been able to learn. Like they've also, they gave me some feedback. Thank you. Sorry, so they come for you. But yes, they were able to build that, and I was able to sort of learn what to do to maintain the website whilst waiting to get a CTO to join me. But for now, I sort of like understood the way things work. I'm continually learning as I go, and that's another thing too, right? If you're able to learn, if you're able to take in information, if you're able to just say, you know what I want to build right now is going to cost me a lot of money, or it's going to cost me a lot of, I guess, investments in education, and I don't have that right now. Let me look for ways like learning how to do it, seeing how others do it. So that's how I was able to do it. I won't say I'm in the market for a CTO because I'm still working on, the company and getting to understand the layout of things. But yeah, that would be my advice. If you can get some education, like something small. There are lots of course websites, and I'm sure you would know this today, but there are lots of places that you can learn how to manage social media, how to build a website on Squarespace, right? Lots of things there are lots of solutions out there to make it easy for you to thrive in the marketplace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You
Exactly.
wanted to share something?
No. I was just enjoying your
Right.
addition.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
no
So we're
problem.
going to ask one more. This and I know I'm the one asking the questions because I'm the one sort of referring. So my question, this question is, so we've seen some people who answered the first question right. My next question now is regarding naming, right? How do you go about,
Regarding
Tunde had mentioned
regard,
earlier, regarding
regarding what?
naming your business.
Okay.
Naming your business. So I'm asking our audience right now. So Tunde had mentioned one thing, how to go about naming your business. What would you share? What would you say to summarize what Tunde had said in the comments
Yeah.
regarding naming your business? Okay, what's next, Tunde? What's next for us to discuss?
I would say next would be when you're done like naming your business and you're done like choosing your partner based on the business type, and you understand, okay, who are you going to be working with? Is it like a sole business where it's going to be just you? I think next will be once you get that business name and all that sorted out, you need to now incorporate your business, right? Based on the type of
Okay.
business to be, right? Is it going to be a sole proprietorship? Is it going to be an incorporation? Is it going to be I think it's limited lab, whatever, LTD, limited, yeah. So you have to incorporate your business, like register the business,
There
make
are
it
lots of
formal.
different kinds.
Exactly. Make it formal, right? Have some sort of documentation because that also keeps you on check, right? It makes you feel serious, right? By the time, for instance, in Canada, you can actually register your business online, right? And I think it costs about maybe less than 300 or
Right.
400 card, right? And when you do it, by the time they send you the documentation, it makes you understand, okay, I think I'm in the business, like this is happening, right? So it's very important to also kind of register your
Yes.
business. right? Make it very formal. And afterwards will be really, once you finalize on the name, is to get a website, right? And you have to do the domain. So pay for the domain, at least get that name somewhere, right? And I'm going to share personal experience for us at HumanSquad, right? So when we started, HumanSquad.com was already taken, right? But HumanSquad.ca was available, right? And we didn't want that to hold us. We didn't want that to kind of hinder. So we just said, you know what, go with HumanSquad.ca. But then HumanSquad.ca, HumanSquad.com, the price was, I think it was about maybe 400 Canadian dollars, right?
Okay.
Normally domains are like $17, right? Domains are
That's super expensive. Yeah. Wow.
exactly. But because somebody had taken it before us, and I guess sorry, I got a notification on my phone that my battery is low, but somehow they knew or they found out. And the thing is, once you launch your business and you have a website that is live, whoever has registered that name prior to you, the price of whatever they've registered goes up. So recall I said it was around $400 before launch. That's humansquad.com. And 8 months into after we launched HumanSquad.com, guess how much it went for? Guess how much it was? Around
800?
No. What? No. We actually bought the .com for, after tax, it came to 4,000 Canadian dollars because we had to buy
Hold on, wait a minute.
Yes, we did. Not a lot of people know this, but we actually did buy. Yes, we bought it. And this is because the .com, as your business grows, the value of your domain grows if you don't have that domain secured already, right? And it just made sense to get it then, right? Because the more you wait, the more expensive it becomes, right? So it is important.
Let me put this down because I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Once you finalize your name, you should go pay for the domain. Even if the website is not ready, pay for the domain and get it secured somewhere. I know somebody who's actually in the domain business. All he does is anytime he's on social media and he sees something trending or people talking about something, he goes to buy the domain of that particular word. It could, it's strange, yes, because it means someday somehow. Because words do have a funny way of just staying there in your subconscious, and one day somebody thinks about it. Oh, this should be an idea for a business, and by the time they go try to register it, it's already taken. So you have to pay them, right, to get that back. Yeah.
I just put that down because I do know that initially when I was searching, my domain wasn't available, so I just went with what's available, which is the KScope.co. Yeah. So now I do see what you're saying, because those domains, of course, now it's going to be super expensive.
Exactly.
But wow, that's actually great feedback. Like you had mentioned something earlier before the domain. What was that? Building the website? What was that? You had mentioned.
I think it was the domain. No, was it not the domain? What did I start with?
Before domain.
Before domain, what did we talk about? I've talked so much.
I think we talked about. So you had mentioned that building the website, but then getting the domain. After you get the name, then you get the domain. I was going to ask that as well. You said building the website, then you said the domain. Building the website, do you recommend someone building a website, or do you recommend them probably using some other social media platform to start off? Or do you recommend, so you're recommending getting the domain and securing the domain before the idea of the business grows, right?
Exactly. But you asked a question now about, if somebody needs to build a website, right? So I would say it really depends on what it's always around the product. It's always around the service, right? Some service might be just one form. It might just be you go on the website and you fill a particular form to maybe get a consultation, or you fill a particular form to submit an order, right? It might be that simple. And some website might just be there for aesthetic. Let's say maybe people don't even order online For instance, a bakery.
Right.
A bakery doesn't need like a fancy or an automated website, because most times people will actually either go buying in the store, or the bakery will just kind of supply whoever the retailer is, right? So you wouldn't need to online.
Right.
So, but they would just need that website for presence and for maybe when people just want to know more about the product, right? But
Okay.
if if it's a more automated website where people will need a profile, right, where you will need some sort of architectural background, there will need to be some sort of technological framework that needs to be done.
Right.
Exactly. Then you will either want to outsource it, or if you have an in-house person who can build it, then you get the person to build it. So that's always the thing around the website. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Look at you now. You have a
That's
very
amazing. Okay, so
look at you. You have a great website for KScope where people can search, people
thank
can
you.
reach out and all this kind of stuff. So that's how it's done, right?
I'm actually very excited that you had mentioned, it's dependent on the kind of the business. Does it
Yeah.
require a website? Does it not require a website? If it's a bakery, like you mentioned, people are more likely to go into the store to pick up the
Yeah.
bread. So the website shouldn't take a lot of investment, right? So that's really great feedback.
Exactly.
So those of us who are part of this giveaway, we're actually halfway. Actually, no, we're almost done. Like we're like
So
almost
that's good.
60%. Yeah, so right now we're 40 minutes in, but what I'm going to do though is just I'm going to refresh the room and let everyone know. So right at the end, to win this giveaway, you have to mention everything in order. So we have 20 more minutes to go, so we hope you're staying on. But today we talked about research. Research is key. You need to make sure that you do research first before actually thinking of a business, then getting the business plan. Then we talked about naming. Then we talked about a website, the possibility of a website, and then now we're also talking about we talked about a founder, and then or no a co-founder if you wanted to have one, and then we talked about the possibility of getting like a website or and then also securing a domain. That's like a mouthful, but if you're
Yeah.
able to mention it right at the end while we're signing off, then you would be winning one of the sessions, or well, one session with someone and another session with myself. So um, when it comes to, I guess the other thing I want to talk about, since we're on the topic of websites, right, is cost. I realized that a lot of business owners in the community, they didn't really have a website. They were struggling with the fact that they were unable to sell. I realized that I myself as a consumer, I'm more likely going to go somewhere where it's easy for me to purchase, to patronize you. I'd rather buy from you, say on Uber Eats, than actually go on Instagram and shop, right? So I realized that shopping experiences have been nailed deep into people's heads that if someone is thinking of buying, they're thinking of a website that can showcase products, right? So when I saw that, a lot of the businesses in our community, they were actually struggling with this. So I ended up creating a shopping directory. So it's nothing too crazy, but it gives you the opportunity to have an online presence, and it makes it easy for people to actually patronize you, right? So we said, you know what? Let's take away that problem, right? With the pandemic, a lot of business owners went online. They really didn't know what to do. So while I was saying, you know what, we're getting people to experience Africa locally, but the businesses are not situated properly. So let us help them first get situated properly by investing in something that would help a large group of people. It's not like a huge website, but it gives you a corner on the website, right, where you're able to send your link to someone and they can easily buy from you and you get paid easily. So finding websites like my website where you can start off as if you're a business that offers products and services. Finding websites like my website where you can list your products, list a small number of products and sell, and also having consultations. So look for things that if you're starting off and it's just you, not a lot of funding, right? Look for something that will help you cut costs, right? I'm going to give a very quick scenario. I'm currently hosting a pop-up shop with a fashion vendor in Toronto. She's gonna be showcasing her stuff at the mall in Brampton. I'm not sure if anyone from Brampton is here, but while I was helping her, I'm also consulting. She's also consulting with me, and
Nice.
she also gets her clothes made in Nigeria. So for the
Nice.
pop to happen, her clothes needed to come. So I was wondering, I was like, okay, so where does a lot of your costs go? And she mentioned that most times she has to pay a lot of fees, the exchange rates, like sending money back home. So I said, you know what, I know an app where you can actually pay your vendors seamlessly. And she was able to use Lemonade actually. So I
Nice.
introduced her to Lemonade and she
Nice.
used it and she was very happy with the service. Now
Nice.
she's cut out extra costs that she didn't need to take. So things like your website, find ways to, I guess, make it cheaper for you, right?
Yeah.
Find apps like Lemonade that can help simplify or make, your business processes cheaper, like your
Yeah.
overhead costs cheaper. And now we're gonna be, showcasing lots of African fashions. If you're in
Nice.
Brampton, if you're in Toronto, please
Nice.
come and check it out. But the point is you're able to find value in what you currently have or invest, money in something small, nothing too crazy to what's it called, to push your business forward and save you some
Yeah.
coins, right?
Exactly. Exactly. As in talking about that, it reminds me of a recent incident as well, where we've had people
Okay.
who have wanted to pay school fees from Nigeria and they are unable to,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But with the Lemonade
Mhm.
app, it
Mhm.
really did help with when they introduced the Nigeria to Canada transfer,
Nigeria.
right? That really did
Yeah.
help, right? And somebody I also spoke with recently where he was mentioning, oh, he needed to send money home, and for some reason it popped up on his feed and he tried it, and the mom was
Oh.
like, "Oh, that this came in earlier than I thought, right?" So yeah, so it's always good to find
Mhm.
alternatives and things that can really help, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Wow, that's actually really really good. I'm glad that we're able to share that. So find ways to save costs. And I think
Yeah,
one thing that lots of people, and this is something I'm actually looking to learn from you. We can end off the conversation on this note is funding. My goodness, funding for immigrants, right? What would you say is like just like the steps to take? Like, okay, so I myself, I'm sort of I've been applying for grants, I've been applying for different kinds of funding, because I don't feel I have the opportunity to sell equity right now. So I've been applying for grants and stuff. So when it comes to funding for your business, what would you recommend? This is all me. Like I'm about to start taking notes from you. So go ahead.
okay. Okay, I'll say so funding comes in such a way that there is no specific funding for immigrants, right? There are
Okay.
funding for black
Okay.
people, right? There are funding for
Mm-hmm.
targeted black people. You have
Okay.
the Canada business grant that Canada introduced. I think it was last year. I think it's up until
Mm-hmm.
maybe 250K. I think a part of it is loan or something like that,
Oh
right?
yes, I remember.
You know that one, right? Exactly. So we have things
Mm-hmm.
like that. But primarily, I would still say, depending on how you position your business, right? It could be a startup,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was talking, yeah, I was talking to you the other day, and then we were talking about how KScope is great and how you position yourself like a Yelp, but it does have some other
Mm-hmm.
functionalities, and it's focusing on the colored, the black community, right? And I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
these one can use this to really present yourself to incubators, to startups. And how that helps is this: these guys, majority of them always kind of give you equity to take some funding. Although some of them will also look at things
Right.
that already have traction. Some of them might look at, what is like your monthly revenue, right? What is your traction? How many people are visiting your site? Who are the people who need your services?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. So depending on the
Mm-hmm.
business, one can start to apply for such, platforms. Because when you get into those platforms, even if you don't get funding on the go, you speak with
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs and residents who are like founders, previous founders, or people who already helped other startups to raise. So they would help you, they will talk to you, they will let you understand,
Mm-hmm.
hey, these are actually the folks you can actually talk to. And another good thing is in those communities, you find angel investors, right? These are people who are willing to give you, say, like
Mm.
a 30,000 grant, a 50,000 grant, 75,000 grant, just really to have some sort of, small equity in your business, but really to assist you as well, right? So I would say primarily those are
Mm-hmm.
places I would say to focus on. And also there are lots of competition, right? There are a lot of like startup competition that are beginning
Mm.
to spring up in different places. You know, earlier and middle of this year around June, we won one of those competitions, right, where we got like a $20,000 grant, right, for HumanSquad, right?
Oh my
So
God.
so
Wow.
so those are the kind of places that one can actually look at, right, and kind of key oneself into, right?
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So I would say now you mentioned looking for grants, looking for all these other like you know competitions and applying and seeing joining all these networks, right?
Yeah,
That have angel investors, right?
yeah,
So this would be, I guess, for the business owners that are far into like they understand the business scene,
that's
but for
true.
those who are like just starting off, you're thinking apply for grants, apply for um, loans that that are available, right? Right? Okay. Oh,
Yes, sorry, I wanted
oh,
to
go ahead.
add, talking about one thing you just mentioned, and it just kind of, reminded me of something you said. People are just starting off. So there's actually a company. There are some companies that do that where they actually help you search for funding and grants, but they get some percentage off that funding or grant when they find it for you.
Wow.
Yeah, so I can't remember the name. I know we started with one of them when we just launched,
Okay.
but there was just so much work for us that we were just like, you know what, we'll get back to you. Let's continue with what we had to do. We had to work with
Mm-hmm.
tech people. We had to do a lot of stuff, and we were getting traction already. So we're like, you know what, let's hold off.
Oh,
But
wow.
those kind of platforms that can actually work with you, they get a lot of information from you, and then they just go do the search, right? And based
Mm-hmm.
on what they find, you guys have like some sort of agreement to take some percentage of that funding. They don't take equity from you, they just take some percentage. So when I remember, it's something we might actually drop through Lemonade for our community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely, definitely. And I'm looking forward to that's actually a really great thing, right?
yeah,
Being able to find people who would, find those opportunities where
yeah,
you can apply for, and then
yeah.
they would actually want you to succeed because they can only make money if you succeed. Wow,
Exactly.
that's
Yeah,
brilliant. So yes, you're gonna want to have to come back to
yeah.
Lemonade. I believe
No problem.
if you find it, you could just drop it under this post, right under this
Yeah.
replay. But that's very amazing. So we're coming to the end, and if you were tuning, if you've been with us for the whole ride, we're so happy, we're so thankful. If you found this very valuable, go ahead and drop some lemons in the comments because it's lemonade.
Yeah.
But go ahead, let us know if you found this very valuable. Drop some comments, let us know. And also now, while we are going to be, exiting and, reintroducing ourselves, if you are participating in the giveaway, and the giveaway again, to reiterate, we are going to be giving I'm going to be giving one winner a free consultation call and access to solutions and marketing that can help them with their business. And Tunde, what are you going to be giving away?
I'll be giving away one free consultation with myself where, we got to talk about your career, if you need help with navigating your
Mhm.
career and every other thing. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, perfect. So now, to end us off, if you were tuning in, let us know everything that we talked about in the comments. Just a very quick summary, the top five, top six, whatever stood out to you. And we're going to pick a winner from the comments. So this is where it goes, guys, fastest fingers. And while that is happening, I'm going to reintroduce myself. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Yvonne Ben, and I own a platform where you get to experience Africa locally. And for business owners, we help you thrive in the marketplace by providing access to e-commerce and marketing solutions. So if you want to check us out, you can check us out at THEKSCOP, and you can also follow me. I talk about my faith walk. I talk about what it's like running a business, and I'm always so fashionista on my page. My page is at Yvonne underscore Ben. That's where you can find me. I'll have Tunde go ahead while I look at the comments here to pick the winners. Go ahead,
Yes. So
Tunde.
thank you, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. It's always great sharing your experience, talking about business in Canada and how to navigate it as an immigrant, right? It's not. I wouldn't say it's that easy, but as you go, you learn. It's a learning curve. You learn. You enjoy the process at a point, right? Sometimes you ask yourself, why have you started this? But most of the time, you just enjoy the whole process, right? And I saw a question that I think I should just answer quickly before we round up. Somebody did ask that was the platform to get the domain name secured. It's called Namecheap. So name and then cheap, CHEAP. So Namecheap. That it's a very popular, common platform where you can use to actually secure a domain name after you get the name for your business, just so that nobody else goes to steal your name, or if they or you find out if they've already stolen your name anyway. So
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm seeing a lot of answers in the comments. Thank you for that recap, Tunde, and thank you for again reintroducing yourself. I'm seeing a lot of answers. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and for making this. I would pick the two winners right now. Can we get a drum roll, please?
nice. Drum roll.
Drum roll. Okay. Boom. So the first winner, which would be going a free session with myself, is Esther Oluwanike. She's in Dubai. Congrats. I can't wait to have a conversation with you. You've been engaging with us. It's been amazing. Congratulations. And for the second winner, I see here two people. We have Yvonne. How I think it's Aurel Fair Oluwapadeyi.
Nice.
Okay.
Congratulations, Real Fair.
All right, congratulations. So if you are still here, please drop a comment so that I can have grab your handle. I believe I'm not sure, but I do see Esther. So it's
Okay. And yeah, we can definitely go
okay,
through
perfect.
that.
I think I can grab it.
Once I find the
I'm
handle,
gonna
I
take
can
a
always
screenshot and then
reach out to her.
yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Amazing, amazing, amazing. This session was amazing. Thank you, Lemonade, again for this session. This was fun. How did you
Yeah,
like it today?
it was awesome. I think we should have more of this, right? Where we talk about different topics, and sponsored by Lemonade. I'm glad to be part of the Lemonade community, and great for all they're doing, right? And thanks to all my friends. I see a lot of
Lots of
online
lemon.
that have been putting up their hands and being naughty in the comment section. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, and thank you, Lemonade. Thank you, Tunde. This was amazing. All right, please have a blessed night wherever you're tuning in. We'll be talking and connecting with you soon.
All
Bye.
right. Bye. Bye. Bye, Vaughn.